In this week's Blizzard News, we talk about a new World of Warcraft sale that you and your friends might want to jump on, lots of information coming out on some recent developer interviews by various fan sites, Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm gets a new beta patch, and will we start learning about Diablo 3 PvP before the end of the year? Hey guys, welcome to the newest episode of the weekly Blizz Planet show. Blizz Planet Weekly, maybe that's what we'll call it. I don't know yet. I'm your host, Chris Arnone, kind of dropping the whole bearded gamer thing since I no longer do the bearded gamer show. But, just Chris Arnone. I'm awesome. I'm writer, geek, nerd. You know me. You love me. I'm still the bearded gamer. I'm just sort of dropping the moniker. But yeah, the holidays are approaching, and we do want to let you know, that does mean the news is going to be a little bit on the slow side, but we're going to try to hit it hard anyway. So let's go right into the World of Warcraft Weekly News Roundup.
Here's the beef.
So right now, if you go to the Blizzard store, you will notice that World of Warcraft is on sale. Not just for sale, it's actually discounted right now. Through January 1st, you can get it a little cheaper, okay? So the World of Warcraft Battle Chest, now that includes plain vanilla World of Warcraft, Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King is just $5. Cataclysm is another $10. Mists of Pandaria is just $30. That's half off its normal full price. Now all the pets, if you're like Eldorian and you just, go ballistic over pet battles, you roll around naked with plushy little World of Warcraft pets, he does it, don't. But anyway, if you're really, really into that thing, the whole pets and pets battles, all of those right now are 50% off, except of course for Cinder Kitten, but that's of course for a good cause. It's going to raise money for the Red Cross for victims of Superstorm Sandy. So please go and pay full price for that one. Now, recently this week, there have been tons and tons of developer interviews going on all kinds of fan sites. Now, if you check the show notes below, you'll find a list of all the different ones that Eldorian was able to find. There were just tons, and we're going to highlight some of the coolest stuff we discovered this week during the course of reading all of these different developer interviews. Now, first off, the Golden Lotus is required for other reputations. Now, they actually did this as a way to reduce the amount of daily quests that are initially available for players. So that's why they instituted that whole thing. Now, in some future patches, now they're planning on the number of daily quests added will be much more reasonable, be much more in line with patch 5.1, the flow of daily quests we had at that point. Now, they do want to keep making content and storyline progression tied through these daily quests. So there's a couple changes going down. It gives a better connection to the faction that you're assisting. That's part of why they want to tie this in together. And part of that is they took out reputation tabbers. Now, some people complained about this, but it's on the dungeon running because players would level rep just with that without ever seeing or learning these new content or about the faction. So they want to make sure you're still learning and you're still involved with these factions if you're doing the daily quest. You're not just sort of doing them on autopilot. Now, patch 5.2 is coming soon, and it will have a large and more traditional raid tier that's much more similar to Ulduar or the Ice Crown Citadel that you saw in Wrath of the Lich King. Finally, bonus rolls. Okay, now these raids have worked out pretty well so far, except there are some people, kind of complaining about the consolation loot when you don't win, what people are now nicknaming the fail bags. Now, in the future, Blizzard would like to have different rewards available in the fail bags, such as bonus valor, or even possibly on rare occasions, pets or mounts. All right, that does it for the World of Warcraft. Let's go into Starcraft.
Piece of me, boy.
So Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm actually just had a big patch rollout, and we've got a whole litany of notes for the new patch that we're going to talk to you about. Check it out. Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm now has a new beta patch, 2.0.2, that introduces some new systems, UI changes, changes to the editor, and balance changes to the game. One of the new systems is groups. Players who wish to associate casually and in larger numbers than clans can now create and join groups, with a designated chat channel, a news tab where stories can be posted, and an info tab where officers can post a brief description of the group and a member roster. Groups are basically a way for communities to form surrounding a certain topic. Be sure to keep an eye on the horizon for a Blizz Planet group in both the beta and when the game goes live. Other features added are unranked play, so players no longer have to play with ladder anxiety. You can even choose players near me, which makes it easier to chat, play, and make friends with players near your network location. Leveling has been increased from 20 to 30 for each race, making for a total of 90 attainable levels per character. Last but not least, improved AI communication. Players will be able to issue orders to AI partners, and this is a starting point for more features Blizzard plans to add in the near future with AI communication. Now, there have been some huge changes to units as far as balance. For Terran units, first off, Medivacs get a new boost ability to help with multi-directional drops for harassment. The Reaper is getting improved movement speed to be able to outrun Protoss Stalkers for the early game in Terran vs. Protoss matchups. The Raven gets a high-damage, single-target version of the Seeker missile ability to help counteract Ultralisks and Colossi. Protoss changes include a massive nerf to the Vortex ability of the Mothership. Blizzard felt the ability in Protoss vs. Zerg matchups was either Vortex perfectly and win, or Vortex poorly and lose, and that one ability just had too much of an effect on the outcome of the game. The Oracle gets an attack activated that is good for worker harassment, and it's possible to deal a lot of damage very quickly to an unprepared opponent. The Dark Shrine has been reduced in cost, so players can utilize the Dark Templar more in late game scenarios. Players will also have control over the Void Ray's charge-up ability, which should make some more interesting choices for both Protoss player and their opponent. For Zerg players, the Hydralisk speed upgrade has been moved to Lair Tech to help counter the buffs to Protoss air units. Mutalisks get a speed buff to help with board control. The Ultralisk is now much more deadly against ground units by getting a damage buff. And biggest of all is a massive nerf to Infestors in response to mass Infestor plays we've been seeing, and Blizzard doesn't want it to become a core unit for the Zerg. They would rather have players use a combination of Hydralisks, Mutalisks, and swarm hosts of Ultralisks.
Stay a while and listen.
So in Diablo this week, patch 1.0.6a was released. Why does he always make me read those things? Why can't they give him like cool names like, Demon Patch or, I don't know, Elf Patch, something that makes him other than 1.0.6 alpha. Seriously. Anyway, this was just a little hotfix. There were some issues with some people who were trying to upgrade from the Diablo 3 Starter Edition to the full game, and this was just a hotfix to fix that particular issue. Now, the PvP blog should be coming out now by the end of the year. This was recently announced in a Jay Wilson tweet. No promises, but they are aiming to get it out by the end of the year. And this leads us into this week's Keyboard Confessional. So we still want to know, what do you think of Keyboard Confessional? I'm thinking maybe right-click confessional, left-click confessional, something, I don't know. Keyboard Confessional, like I said, makes me think it's a Jim Brickman album. I'm not sure that's what we're trying to convey here. So if you've got some suggestions for that, throw that down in the comments. We'll definitely consider those. But moving forward, okay? PvP is delayed. Of course it's delayed. Diablo 3 PvP has been perpetually delayed. Now, back at BlizzCon last year, I got to play some Team Deathmatch, okay? We're talking 2011 in October. Way before the game came out. So it's been in the works. It's been in development for a very long time. But of course, they gave us the game without PvP just to make sure they weren't delayed further in actually getting us the game to begin with. And now we hear that the PvP blog should be coming before the end of the year. Jay Wilson, like I said, tweeted and said it should be here, but no promises. Now this could mean that we'll be seeing the PvP launch, the 1.1 patch, within a couple months of the blog coming out. But maybe not. Now, there are a lot of people online that are speculating we won't see PvP until the first expansion. And of course, Eldorian thinks this is just absolute crap. They promised us it would be its own patch. It would be 1.1. It would come out before the expansion. It was promised to be part of the game, so it shouldn't be something that they're going to be charging for. Plus, imagine how pissed off people are going to be if they indeed lump PvP as a selling point into the first expansion. It's going to be some really, really pissed off people. Now, speaking of pissed off people, there's no denying there's been quite a reaction to Diablo 3. I mean, it started off with this whole the item hunt sucks and the legendaries aren't good. They should make it more like Diablo 2. I'm going to stop playing until they do. And then Blizzard fixed it. But no, we weren't done. Then it went into, this game doesn't have an end game. You beat it and there's nothing else to do. And the game sucks, and I won't play it until they make it more like Diablo 2. And they fixed that too with Paragon. Now it comes down to, oh, we don't have PvP, and they promised us PvP. This game sucks. I'm going to stop playing it. Well, they're working on it. You know, they keep talking about it. They're tweeting about it. We know they're working on it. What this really comes down to is it's not like Blizzard just threw this game out there. It was a giant heaping pile of dung, and they just walked away and said, have fun, deal with it. We don't care, we sold millions. They keep following up. They keep listening. They keep trying to implement fixes. They fix almost everything you guys complain about, and still, on and on with the hatred, the spewing, this game sucks, I'm going to stop playing it. I'm sorry, the game is still a lot better than a lot of other games that come out. It was started that way, and they've made it better and better as time has gone along. But, PvP, let's face it, it's not going to be an expansion. They've never said it's going to be an expansion. It is patch 1.1. That will be coming. They are working on it. And keep in mind, every time they have to tweak or fix something or implement some really big changes, as they've done in the single player or multiplayer, the campaign portion, that has an effect on PvP. I remember back at BlizzCon, when we were talking about, the Team Deathmatch, you were actually going to bring your campaign characters over into Team Deathmatch. So think Paragon has an effect on that. Everything that you're doing has an effect on that. It all deals with how they're going to manage to balance out the PvP. And especially if they're wanting to maybe launch into esports with their PvP, they've really got to make sure they've got that balanced, tweaked, and worked out just right. And of course, the more they take on it, the more they keep listening to what people have to say, the better they're going to make it. So of course, I'm sorry. I've got one more personal note to say. If you keep wanting Diablo 3 to be more and more like Diablo 2, go play Diablo 2 and shut the fuck up and leave us alone. Let us play Diablo 3 in peace. All right, okay. This leads us straight into this week's question, all right? So when do you think PvP will actually hit? Do you think we'll get it a couple months after the blog actually launches? Or do you think, despite everything we've told you, it's still going to be lumped into that 1.1 expansion and Blizzard's just going to piss everybody off, all right? Let us know in the comments, all right? We want to know what you think, what you're feeling, your opinions about this. Tell me how beautiful my beard is looking today. Any of that's good by me. Now, last week's question. Finish up with this, all right? We wanted to know what were your thoughts on StarCraft 2 multiplayer, possibly, maybe, could happen, going free to play. Your best answers are going to be right there in the outro, in those closing credits. But of course, why don't you go and check out blizzplanet.com. All the news, reviews, great community, everything you need to know about Blizzard Entertainment games. See you guys next week.